What's up everybody, it's CJ and I'm back with another Barnacle Bay renovation video, and today we're going to be renovating the Shipshape shack. Try saying that 3 times fast. So this is the house that Rose Rome stays in. Now she is described as a traveler. She's also a level 3 celebrity or 3-star celebrity. She is like well known around the world. And she's really into gardening. She has the athletic skill and she likes to write. So I knew that I wanted to give her a house that was representative of her. Also, she's very eclectic is what I would say, because the inside of her house is very interesting. There's a lot of colors, patterns, and I like the idea of that, you know, because I've made houses like that before. I love the colors and patterns, especially when you can kind of just go crazy with the color wheel. But I wanted her house to look somewhat cohesive, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can tell it's her house, but it looks kind of cohesive in a way. And also her favorite color is yellow. So yellow is kind of like one of the main colors of the build. Yellow, blue, and orange, I would say. And there's some other colors here and there, like, you know, some purples and stuff. But I feel like those are the main colors of the build. And funny enough, I realized that when I was doing the outside of the house, this house looks kind of like the house from Family Guy, if you've ever seen the show. Like the yellow siding, the green roof, it's kind of giving Family Guy. And I noticed it and I thought about changing it, but I really like the way the colors looked on the outside. So I was like, you know, we're just going to have a Family Guy house today. It still looks nice regardless. And believe it or not, y'all, I didn't really struggle with the budget this time around. So when I moved over here to her house, I think she only had around like 2,000, maybe 3,000 simoleons to play around with, but I did not struggle that much with this one. I didn't run out of money low key, but I feel like most of the budget for this house went towards making a fence, and then there's like big trees. One of the trees are like 200 simoleons. I think maybe 2 of them are, but I know like at least one of the trees is like 200 simoleons out here. So like clearly there were ways to save money if I needed to. So I did like change a little bit of the fencing and stuff. I didn't really like the stone fencing, if I'm gonna be honest with you, but the more I looked at it, the more it grew on me. Because I was going to change this out for something different, but I just kind of liked it, so I ended up keeping it in the end. But I do delete some of the gates. In the back of her house, she has a garden, but there's also like 2 gates, so it's kind of like, you know, fenced in. Now, that makes a lot of sense, especially if you have the supernatural pack, because zombies are a thing, and they will eat your plants. But listen, I'm on a budget, and I was trying to save money, so I got rid of the gates, okay? So the little fenced-in garden, it's still kind of fenced in, but like, it's not enclosed completely, so sorry to her. I guess the zombies will be eaten today. Sorry to her, but you can always put it back if you want. But now we move on to the inside of the house. So like I said earlier, y'all, it's very eclectic in here. That's the word for the day, eclectic. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that right. There's a lot of colors, patterns. I liked it. You know, I was inspired by it, but I just knew that it needed to be organized. Or also, I wanted to kind of change the color scheme around a little bit. So one of the first things I was trying to do was try to figure out what to do with this floor plan. Like, how we're going to make this look good. What are we doing here, CJ? So there wasn't really much I could do. I knew that I wanted to make the bathroom smaller because EA loves a big bathroom. I don't know why, but they do. And it's only one sim that lives here. And, you know, this bathroom already has a shower. So to me, it's like, it's just extra space that you didn't really need to just... So in my opinion, the bathroom was just too big. So I made it smaller. And then in doing so, I ended up having, I guess technically, an extra room in the house. Now, at first, it was going to be like a home office. I wanted to give her a computer desk so she could write and, like, you know, be on a computer. But I didn't really like the way it looked. I just felt like it was kind of like a room that was just really small for no reason. So I got rid of the room and I added a half wall to kind of make it into more of a nook space, if that makes sense. You'll see what I mean in a little bit when we get to that. But I do start off in the kitchen. I wanted some zany designs. I almost put the fruit design, y'all, in here. But then I found this other tile and I thought it looked a lot better. So I'm using that. It also matched with the wallpaper. So like I said, orange, blue, yellow is like the main colors of this build. I also swapped out the original windows with these from the Showtime pack. I just like these because they're cheap. They let in a good amount of light. They're not really even that big, you know, like they're bigger than like the ones in the base game, but they're not like humongous, you know, so they just kind of fit perfectly anywhere. I also found this light. It's store content, but it's a teapot and there's like tea spilling out into teacups. It's like a little chandelier. I just thought it looked so cool, and I was like, bro, she would definitely have something like this. Like, this is the kind of thing you get, either you make it yourself or you get it custom made. I feel like knowing her, she probably made it herself. Honestly, y'all, if I had like unlimited money, I would have went crazy with the furnishing and decorating. I would have added so much stuff in here. But you know, she lives technically, I guess, in a starter home, and even though she's a celebrity, because I don't know if I mentioned that, y'all, but she's a level 3 celebrity. So like, you know, even though she's like famous, I guess that doesn't always mean rich. So, you know, it's okay. Maybe if you play with her, or if you download this house, you can add more stuff. Because I really wanted to add some string lights in the backyard with the garden, but the budget said I couldn't do it, so I didn't. But yeah, so as you can see, I also added a little living room area in the house, because, you know, if I had enough money, I would have given her like an actual like living room, but we didn't really have that today, so I just settled for a TV in the corner with a love seat. The love seat I used was from the Generations pack, and I don't really use that one all too often, so I wanted to use it today. I thought it was a nice touch, and I really like the color of the rug with that orange design, and it looks really good alongside everything else. And this is kind of what I was saying about that little nook space. I got rid of the room and I just added a half wall, so it's still like a little, like, I guess, study area, desk area, but it's not really a room. Like I said, it's kind of like a little nook space. I did end up giving her a bookshelf because I noticed that this house didn't have a bookshelf. Now, if I had more money, I would have given her an actual computer. I didn't really want to risk buying a computer and not having money for other rooms, so there's no computer, but you can always, you know, get one. And then as for the bathroom, I don't know why, but this is around the time when I was trying to figure out, like, what else to put in here that wasn't super expensive. And then I realized that I ended up putting the Social Bunny painting, or like the picture, in the kitchen, and I was like, you know what, I could low-key see her being a Social Bunny fan. Like, maybe in this universe it's like a character on a TV show or something. I can kind of see her being like a Social Bunny fan. So I was like, bro, why don't I give her that bunny rug from Supernatural? So I put that in the bathroom as well. And I know there's like this Social Bunny like prop from Showtime. I don't think we have the money for it, because I think at the very end of the video we had around like 40 something simoleons left. So I don't really remember how much that prop is, but I know it's probably more than 40 simoleons. But I low-key could see that being in the corner of her house somewhere. So I wish I would have thought about that at first, because looking back, that would have been a great little addition in the corner of the house. But yeah, I could see her being like a Social Bunny fan, you know. So now we move on to her bedroom. So I went with a like orangey kind of color. It's kind of yellow, but more orangey, I would say. I ended up keeping some of the furniture in her bedroom. So I kept the mirror. I also kept the dresser in here as well. She had this gnome, and I was like, you know what? I'll let her keep that gnome. Maybe that's her little buddy. I did swap out the bed for the one from the Showtime pack. If you don't know, this one actually has level 7 energy. So it's a pretty good bed and is not really that expensive. So if you don't know, like, the higher level a bed is in The Sims, the less time it takes for your Sims to get their energy all the way up. So cheaper beds don't have to sleep longer. The better beds, they don't have to sleep as much, they can sleep less, you know. So this one, being level 7 and it's really cheap, was really, really good. So I ended up using that. Of course, I also used the matching chair that matches with that love seat in the living room. I put that in here. I also gave her a little end table. It's from one of the country sets. Is it Country Living, maybe, from the Sims 3 store? I gave her some sunflowers in here as well. Her room, you know, it still isn't that big in the grand scheme of things, but I do like the renovation. I think it looks a lot better in here. I just really like the design of that chair in her room with the purple and the gold. I thought that looked really nice in the corner as well. And then of course I recolored her rug as well. Like I said earlier, I wanted her house to represent her, but I wanted things to kind of be somewhat cohesive, if that makes sense, at least in terms of color scheme. Because I feel like sometimes if you do a lot of different colors that are just too out there, the house just looks very busy. But this way it still kind of looks busy, but in a more like contained way. If that, hopefully I'm making sense with that. Now we move on to the back of the house, and I thought my game was going to crash around this time because I was trying to delete those fences and the game froze. I thought it was going to crash. I had not saved, so I would have lost everything, but luckily it didn't crash. So I didn't really do much in the back of the house. I just added more dirt just to make it look more cohesive. There's like a path that goes from the front of the house to the back through the garden, and like there's like a little patio kind of section in the corner. So I kept it because I thought it was interesting. I'm just right now redoing some of the pathway. I forgot to mention this, y'all, but funny enough, she has a life plant in the back of her house. That is interesting because if you don't know, you can eat these and they'll basically set your age back by 1 day. So technically speaking, because she's an elder, so like say like she was like 1 day from dying, if she just kept eating them, it would just make her live longer. That's funny because I don't know too many Sims that have life plant just in the back of their house. Like, what's going on back there? What's going on? I need to know. But That's what she has, and I thought that was interesting, so I kept it, you know. But hey, if you play a Barnacle Bay and you need some life plant, I mean, you could probably ask her for some. She'll probably give you some. So now we move on to the last final section. So this is like a circular patio. That's kind of what I see it as. I didn't really do much out here because we were kind of running out of money at this point. I got rid of these chairs for some lounge chairs. I used the ones from the Island Paradise pack, and then I also gave her like a little like makeshift umbrella table, and I also added like a little tiki torch just to have some light out here. I also added another light behind the house just for some, you know, extra lighting. If you want to do some midnight gardening or something like that, you can actually see a little bit better. But in the end, y'all, that's basically everything for the video and the build. So if you want to download this one, I am going to leave it linked down below. Thank y'all so much for watching, and please be sure to stick around for the screenshots so you can see how the house looks from different angles. But anyway, y'all, that is all that I have for this one, and I will see y'all in the next one. Bye! Thanks for watching!